Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I am Brenda Altraide, and in this video I want to talk about why people do what they do. I actually just came off a live video where I was talking about why people lie. I'm so triggered by lies, especially recently, because I realized that even the people who are actively in your life lie for no reason, and it's completely confusing and it throws me off balance basically. I know that dealing with men, I've learned that men will always lie. Generally, people will always lie. But when you're dealing with people that do not have a reason to lie to you and they still lie, it's very confusing. And that's my present state, or at least that's the state I've been in the last 2 weeks. And it doesn't look like it's going to end anytime soon because guess what? They're still lying. Anyway, I just remember this topic. Wow. I actually wrote this topic almost a year ago. Yes, on the 17th of August 2022. I have my journal down here. Why people generally do whatever they do, whether it's lying, whether it's cheating, whether it's whatever. It's like advertising, right? So if you want to attract a certain thing, person, situation, opportunity, sometimes people feel the need to portray a certain narrative of themselves to attract certain people or opportunities. They are trying to appeal to a particular audience or person or situation or opportunity so that they can have it or keep it. That's what I think. It appeals to the targeted audience basically. Whatever they are doing, they are hoping to attract a certain thing, a certain person, a certain opportunity, name it. People dress the way they dress for the kind of attention they want to attract. The girls that love to show their body is because they don't mind the attention. The girls who are conservative is because they would rather not have that kind of attention, or they want to give a certain idea, or they're trying to create a particular image for themselves. It generally can be termed as branding. People do what they do for what they consider to be their personal brand, consciously or unconsciously. Whether you realize it or not, you are building a brand. You are a brand as a person. So your actions reflect your brand. So if you are a liar, for example, you, I think you pretty much have your brand figured out. So anyway, people dress the way they dress for the kind of attention they want to attract. People talk the way they talk for the kind of people that they're trying to impress or attract, whatever the case is. Now, number one reason why people do what they do is to express themselves as an expression of their highest being. If you see a person and the way they behave, you can tell that that is their self expression. That's how they express themselves. Some people are loud, that is how they express themselves. Some people are quiet in public, but they are loud inside. Some people are loud inside and in public. Some people are quiet inside and in public. Like different folks, different stories, different strokes. You get. So people do what they do sometimes as a form of self expression. Then, number two, they do it to impress others. Sometimes this is something that we do without even recognizing. So you probably not realize that that is what you're doing until you're well away from the situation, and then you look back, like you reflect and you see that, oh my god, I was being a punk over there trying to make these people happy or trying to make them like me. And a lot of people do this knowingly or unknowingly, but my guess is a lot of people do it knowingly, because especially when you're an adult, because like you can tell when you're functioning outside of your regular character, out of your normal character, and you may not be able to trace it back to trying to impress people, but you know when you're not being yourself. So that is one another reason why people do what they do, whatever they do. That's another reason. Now, number three, to tell a story or their story. People do what they do to get people to understand them, to tell their story, to like kind of like show you where they're coming from, or like give you an idea of who they are. They're trying to get people to see them, to understand them. So that's why they may act the way they act. Okay. Another reason is for validation. A lot of people do stuff for validation. Now, I understand this a whole lot because every time, let me tell you, this is not me bragging. If you think I'm bragging, then maybe you have a problem. But I'm just telling you that I am somebody who people always come to seek validation, whether they know what they're doing or not. In the market, in church, at the bus stop, inside bus, wherever. It's like in the bathroom at a public place, like wherever. I understand that people do things something like they just want somebody to tell them that they're doing the right thing, or they have done the right thing, or they look good. They just want some kind of validation, and those kind of people always gravitate towards me. I don't know what it is about me, but I get that a lot, especially in public places, especially in the market. Why do you need me to approve of the shoe that you want to buy for your toddler? I don't even have a child. Why do you think I'll be a good judge of what your toddler should wear, or what you should buy for yourself? Like, you don't know me. I don't know you. Why do you care about my opinion? But people care so much about other people's opinion, and so they act in that way to get people to validate them. And I think it's a normal. Is it normal? I don't know if it's normal, because I don't know. I don't think everybody's like that, but some people are like that, and I guess it's okay. I don't know. But yeah, that's another reason why people do what they do. Another reason is to create a false image, or in modern terms, chase clout. So people want to create an image of themselves that does not exist. So they'll tend to do things that will make people think otherwise of them. Like, okay, let's say a broke person will go to Lagos Island and buy copy designer items and pose it off as original. That is a kind of behavior that would create false image, because now people who are looking at you on social media thinking, oh, this person must have money, they must be doing well for themselves, they wear designer, they do this, they do that. Or it's like borrowing money to go on a trip, and then when you come back you're broke and in debt, but you're on the beach somewhere in Mauritius sipping mimosas, and flagging it off on social media like you have your life figured out and you're doing well and things are working out for you. So like those are kind of scenarios where people tend to create a false image with and then of course with maintaining a kind of a particular kind of appearance. Like people do all sorts of things to maintain their social media presence, or the notion that people have of them on social media. Like these are reasons why people do whatever they do. So if you've encountered people who lie, steal, pretend, whatever, these are just some of the few reasons why they may do those things. Then they're the ones that do what they do for religious reasons, for religious purposes. So no shade, but there are people who are always about religion and God this and God that and that and that and that, and their personal life does not reflect it. They're only all about that in public spaces like social media and the likes. They come on social media, they condemn everything. You're a Muslim woman, you're not wearing your hijab, how dare you? Be your damned. And the things that they do behind closed doors, it's only God that knows, because I don't know. So that's another reason why people do what they do, for religious reasons. They are quick to judge other people, quick to place blame, and all sorts of things. But they're not better than you. They're not better. The worst thing you think in this life the worst thing you do in this life is to think that someone else is better than nobody's better than you. Nobody's better than you. You just used to follow them to where they used to go and do their own, and you've not seen them doing their own. That's the difference between you and whoever is judging you, or whoever you feel is better than you. Like You don't know the half of it. So stop seeing yourself as inferior to anybody. People, especially religious people, that's why a lot of people don't subscribe to religion, because it's like the religious people who are supposed to be like showing the world and living an exemplary life are so hypocritical. It's like, God, it's crazy. There was a time when I stopped going to church for this reason. After I lost my dad, I didn't go to church for like 2 years. Because how can you tell me that the body of Christ, which is the church, right, is refusing to bury a person because they owe Sunday school dues? They owe Sunday school dues. Like, this person has lost his life. So you're telling me that there's no remorse, there's no sympathy, there's no whatever. What matters is that you're owing us, bring our money. That was so triggering. I didn't go to church for 2 years after my dad was buried. I didn't step foot in a church anywhere. I did not for 2 years. But you see, at the end of the day, I realized that I could only make that decision because I wasn't going to church for the right reasons. I was going to church because I was born a Christian, where we go to church every Sunday and midweek sometimes. We go for vigils, you participate in religious activities, but I wasn't going to God for myself. It's different now. Now I don't care what happens. Even if I catch the pastor fornicating or committing adultery, life and direct, I will still go to church because I'm not going to church for him. Do you understand? Like, my priorities are different now. I'm grown. I'm a grown Christian girl, So like, those things don't really get to me anymore. But there are people who are not at my level yet, or who are not even like, they haven't found their feet religiously or spiritually. So people who portray a certain behavior just to keep a religious profile, to maintain a religious profile on social media or whatever, those kind of people can easily get to them. But yeah, people behave a certain way sometimes for the sake of religion, just to show that, oh, I'm a Christian. Lip service. They don't really mean it in their heart, because it doesn't, being a Christian or being a Muslim does not change their person, their character. They don't even understand why their religion condemns certain things. They just use it to judge other people. So that's another reason why people do what they do. Lastly, people behave the way they behave, they act the way they act to survive. Human beings are survival creatures, right? From when you come out, or even in the womb, a baby whose mother is starving will come out looking starved, right? If the mother is well fed, the baby will be healthy and bouncy and good looking, thick, you know So, human beings naturally, well, God did not create us for survival, don't get me wrong, but we're created into a world of sin. So, it's a natural thing for you to strive for survival, because remember, God caused Adam and Eve before us. God had already cursed man and sent him out of the Garden of Eden, which was his natural habitat that had all the provisions that he needed for life and sustenance. God sent man out of Eden. So when you come into this world, you learn to survive. As a child, they're, you'll be taken care of. Your parents are there to do everything for you, pay your bills, this and that. But when you start mingling with your peers, start going to school, the survival race has begun. So we're creatures of survival. We're struggling to survive trauma, we're struggling to survive bad experiences, we're struggling to survive everything that life throws at us. So people tend to go out of their characters to survive certain things. It's like, if you lack, or if you don't have money, and you need money, everybody needs money, and then you resort to stealing. It may be wrong, but it's a fight for survival. You're trying to survive. Whatever you do to keep up with being alive, because being alive comes with a lot of responsibilities, especially when you're an adult. You have to figure out where you sleep, where you keep your stuff, if you even have stuff, how much stuff you can have. There's a lot to consider. So these things tend to make people to act a certain way, like stealing, for example, or people like me who like to, you know, get things done by ourselves for ourselves, because yeah, we didn't really have much options growing up. Then there are the ones who like to be tricky and try to get everything off of other people without giving anything back in return. Like, so whatever people do, these are the reasons why they do them. So I'm going to do a quick recap. And number one is for self-expression. People act the way they do to express themselves, to impress others, to tell their story, for validation, to create a false image, for religious purposes, and to survive. So those are all my points concerning this topic. And this video was triggered by the other live video that I was telling you guys about why people lie. Why do people lie? I still want to know why people lie, please. So if you get to watch that video, please leave me comments, and definitely leave me comments if you have any contributions to make for this one. And hopefully I will see you in my next video.